Export settings greatly determine how successful a printed part will turn out. This includes making sure that the 3D geometry is structurally sound as well as aesthetically pleasing. Some of the important export settings include saving out the STL file from its CAD software with a certain amount of roughness or smoothness, orienting the part correctly in the slicer software, adjusting the layer thickness, and including supports in the print. In this lesson, I'll cover many of the ways you can refine your print, ensuring that your part will come out fully functional and looking just how you intended it to be. In order for a 3D printed part to come out successfully, there are a number of settings to consider in both the CAD environment as well as the slicer software. With the file ready to be exported from SOLIDWORKS, you'll want to go up to File, Save As, and then choose STL from the available file types. This is the most common file format used to export 3D printable files. When I click Save, SOLIDWORKS breaks up the part into tiny triangular segments. The larger the number of triangles, the more refined the printable file. This results in a smoother part, but it increases both the file size and print time. If you want to change the number of triangles used to make up the 3D geometry, the options can be adjusted from the same Save As menu. I'll open it again. Make sure STL is selected again, and click on Options. There are a few ways to make adjustments. You can select Coarse or Fine, and when I check the box for Preview, the number of triangles is shown. If you select Custom, you can adjust the deviation and the angle, which will increase or decrease how many triangles are created in the STL file. I'll click OK, and then Save, then Yes, and the STL file is generated. Other 3D printing file types that are supported are 3MF files and AMF files. Additionally, some slicer programs include the ability to directly import SOLIDWORKS and other native CAD files. This eliminates the need to export them to a neutral format like an STL file. Here I'm using the Formlabs Preform Slicer software. Orienting the part and preparing it for printing is simple. Simply click here on the one-click print icon. And all of the work is done for you. However, you can always make adjustments as needed. For instance, if I knew I needed to rotate the part by 30 degrees around the x-axis, I can click on the Orientation menu, then type in 30 to the Orient X field. This adjusts the part orientation and the supports disappear. To add the supports back in, I can click on the Supports menu and make any adjustments as needed. I'll leave the defaults and click Auto Generate Selected. From here, I'll make sure it's positioned properly on the build plate by clicking on the Layout menu and moving it into position. Now the part is in place and is ready to be printed. Now I'll briefly switch over to Ultimaker's Cura software, which uses an FDM printing process. With the STL file imported, I'll make sure that the part is oriented in such a way that it'll produce the optimal print. I want to minimize the number of overhangs and make the footprint as large as possible. This means that if I rotate the part so that this faces the base, the footprint is as large as possible and the overhangs are minimal. If a part such as this one is intended to be structural and withstand stress, the printed layer should be perpendicular to the direction of applied stress. Since the direction of the layers on an FDM printed part are the weakest, the strongest part will be created if the applied load is perpendicular. In this software, once the model is oriented correctly and any additional supports are included, the printer type can be selected here, along with custom settings such as the thickness of each layer, the amount of infill, or if you'd like to include build plate adhesion. Once your settings are in place, you can click the Slice button to prepare the model for printing, and you'll see Cura displays an approximate print time. Finally, you can save the file and begin the print. In the Formlabs Preform software, the part can be sent directly to the printer by clicking on this button and selecting the available printer connected to your machine. Or if you need to save the file to a thumb drive or other storage device, you can go to Save As and save the part as a Preform Jobs file.